The next property is the Tiawaka mine. This was also identified on the videotape as part of the 64 mine, but it actually is the Tiawaka mine.
13th, 1999. Earl Bennett doing the dialogue. Well, we think that last property was actually the Moby Dick, and that we are now at the 64 mine. The roads in here are confusing, to say the least. There's many of them. This does look like the first crossroad, though, but so we turned off of the 9527 road, and we're on the 9527B road right now, if we're correct, and we'll find out here pretty quick. Anyway, we're at the lower workings. The workings run up a little hill. There's a gulch on both sides. We think Dixie Gulch is the gulch that's on the other side. It's got some water in it. This is the lesser of the workings. It looks as though it's a placer primarily, and we're just kind of spinning around here taking a look at it. It's a fairly large trench. It's probably 200 feet long, and its widest point right across through here on the order of 60-70 feet. Again, looks as if they were washing granite, pretty much eroded granite, and I don't see any sign of an adit or anything else in here. Now there's a cabin. This is the lesser workings. There's a cabin right over here through the trees that you can see. We'll turn off and go over there. We're standing down in that little cut. Give you an idea of what it looks like. Now off that way, which is to the east, there's a little drainage off there about 100 feet. It's running a fair amount of water in it right now. Might have been what they diverted in here to do this kind of work. Again, you get kind of an idea that I'm not sure they hydrauliced it or what they did, but they moved a fair amount of dirt and topsoil out of here. We'll turn her off for a second, keep looking. Okay, we're looking back at it now. This would be to the northeast. Again, you can see these little channelways that are all full of old trees and so on in here. Look as though they probably washed a fair amount of gravel in here. This looks like it's been plastered in here. We'll go over to the cabin now. Well, we found a nice pile of white bull quartz, and you can see more laying over there in the bottom of that pile. This is undoubtedly what they were after, every one of these little quartz veins in the granite. Yeah, now we've got another one of these little channelways. You can see it. This would be west of where we were just standing. It comes on down through here like this and heads on down. And there's the cabin with the road. We're going to go get a closer up of it. Okay, we're looking at the ruined cabin in here. All falling down. The road sits right next to the road. If you go down the road there about 150 feet, you'll cross that little creek. There's a culvert in there. Comes across where this fallen down cabin is. And then we're going to continue to truck right on up the hill, up that way, up on the top of this little knoll between this little drainage here and a bigger one on the other side, which is where the bigger workings is located. Well, we just started up the hill. Here's another pit. It was either part of the placer operation or a prospect pit that was dug. And when we got to the top of the hill, there's quite a few old little trenches up there. Okay, we've come up the road probably 200 feet to the west from that last workings. Next thing you see is a cabin, which is on the south side of the road. And just for scale, I'll show you what else is going on. Here's the cabin. I'm standing in the road. This is the shaft location and the dumps from the shaft. And right down below it, you can see right there is what looked like an old mill or an old mill building of some type that they had. Now we're going to move over to the dump over there and get a picture. By the way, there's an old car. Now we'll walk along and video. Give you an idea of some of the flotsam and jetsam here on the pile. If you get up here, there's a nice old stove and somebody's fine old automobile. Probably did good service getting in here. See in here, my guess is, yeah, it's got all the pieces probably stripped out of it. Actually, there's parts of several automobiles in here. Okay, we're going to move over to, standing from there, you can see these piles out in front of me through the trees that are ones related to the shaft. And the shaft, if we guess right, was right here where you can see all these timbers down in this hole with a pile, which would be the waste spoil from the shaft around it, or a little hole right next to it. But my guess is that these timbers in here were where they had their hoist set up some way or other. There's a cable, some timbers in there too, but who knows? It looks, the first hole is the bigger one. Leave it like that. We'll go around the other side and get some pictures of it from over there. Okay, there's the cabin. There's the old car. Right in front of it is the shaft of the hoist works with the other little hole right next to it. The spoil dumps from the digging in here. And if I spin completely around, we're now looking at the mill building, which is actually due west of the cabin and sits right on the road. That's the road right over there, and just on the other side of those little trees. You can see completely fallen down. No equipment. Well, yeah, there are. There's look like, well, it's an old engine sitting down in there. You can see the crankshaft out of the bottom of it. But I don't see anything that resembles stamps or anything else in here. We'll go down to the bottom and get a shot back up. Okay, we're looking right up at the old mill building, what's left of it. It was a small mill, one of these probably custom or mail order ones that you can just buy in and set up, which was fairly popular in the 30s. Round nails in most of these boards and good looking bolts, so it's probably nothing too old now. If we turn to the west from the mill, we're looking down into a little pond down there, which may well have been an old mill pond. And this is the, if we've guessed right, we're looking at the drainage for Dixie Gulch in here. Which is not much of a drainage. There's about equal amount of water in the little drainage over there on the one on the east side, but there is there's no doubt about it. They put a tailings impoundment in here. We'll scramble on over and take a look at the front of that thing, if you can see it through there. It looks as if they had a little tailings pond in here. And the road here continues on up a ways. And as you can see, continues on off to the west, as shown on the map. About it, they built a little tailings dam across here. You can see there's the pond and the mill. You can even see it through all the veggies. Is just right back over in there through those trees. Can't see it real well. There's the pond. The tailings dam is built out here. Looks like about 30 feet, and it's breached around the other side there. So the best way we'll do to see what the problem is with this water is we're going to grab a sample right down in there, which is pretty close to the discharge end of the creek. I should note again, this is all granite and quartz veins in here. So how much material actually ever got discharged into this little pond, or whether it was a makeup pond just for water for the mill, and that's highly likely too, or both, we don't know. But we'll get a water sample and see what we can do with it. And one last picture of that little dam the pond over behind it. And that will be the end of the video, at least for right now.